What's going on, collectors? Optical 20 here for another video review. This time it's the Hot Toys Optimus Prime, and you can purchase this figure at bigbadtoystore.com. Just click the link in the description. However, this is the Sideshow exclusive, so I got this like on a trade to someone on Facebook, and I liked it. I've always been intrigued by this figure. However, I didn't want to buy it at first because I thought it was kind of overpriced for a figure that does not transform. And I know what I'm getting. I was okay with the idea that it doesn't transform because I'm not gonna play with it. I'm not gonna transform it to anything else. But this is mostly a display on my collection. But it's huge, and I don't know. It just doesn't fit because this is my only transform. But like I said, I like the movies. A lot of people doesn't. I watched it when I was younger. I thought that was enough reason to get this. And as you can see here, the box is pretty big. It's a huge box. Nice packaging too. Kind of like an old school transformer. And as you can see here, there's a lot of accessories with this guy, and I'm overall, like I said, I'm pretty happy with it. The height wasn't, I'm not overly impressed, but with the accessories that you get, as you can see, is from their hands. It's pretty cool. It has some dirt on it, and the figure itself is covered in like dirt and it's weathering and all that stuff. So when you get it, it's not actually peeling. It's just an effect, kind of like Iron Man. When you buy the Iron Mans nowadays, it kind of has this weathering effect. So this is the knuckles. It's pretty cool. He has the gun holding hand, which is, I wish that they would have given RoboCop, but something that he did lack, but not with Optimus Prime. Hopefully it does focus. There you go. It comes with some assortment of hands, those two guys, and then the ones included in him. He does come with this on different shoulder pads or something. This is actually for his gun, I believe. I don't know, I forgot. I've shot this video in a while, but it also has some weathering effects right there. I mind you, I don't follow the cartoons anymore. I used to follow this when I was younger, so I just I don't even know this angle with Starscream, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, I find it odd, but I'm sure some fans out there has some reasoning why Hot Toys put this together. I watched some YouTube videos, some reviews of this figure, but I just like the figure. I just like how it looks like. Okay, let's just put it this way. I'm not a massively huge fan. I just think he's iconic, so I purchased it. It comes with a bunch of stuff, so you're kind of getting your money's worth. But at the same time, like I said, the reason I didn't buy this initially when it came out, and it's actually still available. Came out like a year or two ago. It's not really popular, one of the popular releases for Hot Toys, and I don't know if they're gonna continue this line. Probably not, judging from the success of this guy. But he's a pretty popular guy. Like in the community, not in the 1/6 community at least, but it's a main character. So decided to jump on it. Yeah, even the gun. I've read some, some comments on other review sites that it's not even accurate. I mean, it looks pretty cool to me. So like, it didn't bother me. So maybe I can understand if you're a huge fan, you follow the series, you follow the, the TV series or the comic book or whatever. Yeah, I understand if you're upset, but for me, aesthetically, looks clean. It does have some burnt marks right there. And he's not overly massive, like I stated earlier. Just it's the same size as Iron Man, which is kind of disappointing because it's Optimus Prime, man. You're expecting him to be a little bigger, more what do you call this? Intimidating, the height and all that stuff. He's not even wide or thick or anything like that. But yeah, it's all right. As far as the details, this is the Starscream wings right here. Pretty nice paint application, as you can see here. We're in up close. With him, you can see the logo, the Decepticons logo, and on the back, that's the not the screw, but that's the hole where you're gonna put the peg in, so you can kind of peg it on his back. There's so many configurations too that you can do with this figure that it's pretty awesome. You know, that you have that functionality, that options, that if you wanna display him in a certain piece. And this is the exclusive head sculpt that you're gonna get if you get the exclusive version from Sideshow Collectibles. You can see here, you can actually pop it in the figure. You know, it has that, as you can see earlier, it has this cool kind of neck joint, but it's not really a neck joint. Kind of like you know, it kind of shows you that he ripped it off from his head. And there's a whole lot of my hands right there. God damn, 70D focus. There you go. You know, some wires that's hanging out and all that stuff. I gotta upgrade to 80D, but you know, it's not 4K, so I'm gonna hold off to that. And this is the base. The base is pretty cool. It looks like a recycled version base of the evil Superman. They just made it, you know, backwards and put the logo on top. But I didn't own that figure, but it sure looks the same. But it's a nice looking base. You know, don't get me wrong. I actually do love it. He looks like a statue when you put him in there. He doesn't necessarily fit, you know, so well because of, you know, the base is really cool. As you can see here, if it focuses again, it's a lot of nice details on it. But a recycled base nonetheless. But you know, you can use them from other figures. And this is the actual figure itself. Kind of rusty, dirty and grimy, muddy. You know, that's a ratchet knee. Pretty nice figure. I don't know if you can even call this a figure or a robot or whatever, you know, you might want to classify him. He's plastic, he's not die cast. I don't know if that's a plus or minus. It didn't really bother me. You can see there on his abs, you can kind of push it in so it can bend over, and you know, some articulation there. That's the head sculpt. You know, Optimus Prime, kind of like the look at that pistons right there. It has some burnt marks on it. I haven't touched this figure, and it's actually not on my display case, so every time I look at it, I want to dust it off and then realize that, you know, it's not really that dirty. But I like the effects. You know, it's pretty cool. It's pretty refreshing, although the fingers, they do move right here, as you can see. Or yeah, I believe this is the articulated fingers that he does have. So there you go. This is his elbows. It's kind of ratchety, which is cool because it holds pretty well. He is actually well articulated for the type of figure that he is. It's pretty light though. I'm sure if you've been collecting for a while now, you get the same feeling for Iron Man. But you know, Iron Man, they still produce plastic figures, but once you go die cast, it feels a bit different. You know, I don't know. It's the weight of the figure, and then as you can see, he got some wheels in here that doesn't turn, but it does have the rubber, so kind of gives you that nice wheel feeling. And he's got some, you know, toe articulation, ankle pivot and all that stuff, you know, some articulation on the ankles. So when you kind of put him on the base, on this diorama base, you know, you can make some adjustments if needed be. And on the back side, the paint application is terrific. You know, I don't know, I can stress that enough. Is it pretty accurate? You know, I'm not the right person to ask. I guess it looks pretty damn accurate to me. You know, if we're just talking about Optimus Prime in general. And as you can see on the back, that's where you put the batteries, and those two peg holes right there, that's where you kind of attach the rim, and then that's the switch, so it turns on everything. And then you can kind of cover it with this one. It's up to you. You know, you can make any configuration. You can take out those wheels as well, replace them with something else, but there's a lot of things that you can do. So it's a fun figure. You know, it's a fun to play around, to test out different looks. You're not gonna get bored with it. I wouldn't say that, because you know, it's possible that you can board in any figure. See there, pretty nice. But yeah, there's a lot of options. He's not he doesn't just come with a with a gun or something like that. There's a lot of display options for him. So if you own other Transformers, I'm not sure about the height if it's gonna work out because this is the only Transformers I owned since I was young. I stopped. Maybe until 4 or 5 years ago when I started collecting again Hot Toys. That's where I But other than that, I got rid of all my toys. I grew up, and then again now I'm young again. So you can see here I turned on the lights earlier. As you can see from his eyes, it lights up, and then his chest lights up as well. So I guess this is called the Matrix. Like I said, I don't know. This is based on other people's reviews. So it lights up, but they're saying it's not accurate. So I'll take their word for it. It looks pretty cool to me. Again, the light is pretty solid. It's kind of bright. It's okay. So when you close his chest, you kind of still see it, shining through. I'm not sure if this is a positive or a negative, but as long as it lights up, it's okay with me. And I know you can take this off. It's kind of hard, it's kind of flushed in there, but oh, there you go. You can take it off, so you can see the light right there. And I wish, I'm sure they could have done a more detailed job on his chest, but this one's pretty nice piece right there. So it just snaps in and out. There you go. There's no special way of putting them in. It fits snug right in. You can kind of just push it in its place, and there you go. It's not gonna fall off or anything. It's pretty snug in there. So, yep, it does light up. I just wish the internals are a little bit more detailed. Looks like they just put a bunch of lines in there and whatnot. So you can kind of see it like shining through that crack right there. As far as the head sculpt, I mean, it looks pretty good to me. The head, I don't know the size. Maybe it could have been a little bit bigger, but like I said, it's fine. The only thing is the light shines underneath as well. You'll see it, once we turn the video up and down, but it's okay overall. It's Optimus Prime. I know there's another version of this. There's the exclusive version, and I think there's the Asia version, where instead of having Starscream's, head and all that stuff, his wings, he does have Megatron's gun. I think that's what it is. I don't know if it's the Asia exclusive version or something like that, but yeah, this is how the neck peg looks like, and that's the LED lights shining through. That's okay. That some people are complaining that it only has one switch. That's okay. You can switch it up with Starscream's head, and it also lights up. His eyes are also translucent, so you can kind of see it there. So if you wanna, put this head in, and I forgot whose channel it is that I read that. I guess there was an angle where he was disguising as a Starscream, or Starscream had to disguise like Optimus Prime. So maybe that's the reason why they did all this. Regardless, I'd rather have the exclusive version anyway, because I think it's, the more accessories you have, the better. Especially if I get tired of this and you want to sell this, although it's not selling really well right now. I'm pretty sure down the line there's some fan out there who wants to, get a piece of Optimus Prime. That's always the case with Hot Toys. No one likes Harvey Dent back in the day. It was selling for $120. Now it's for $300. Now it kind of calmed down because they're not doing, the Dark Knight anymore. And then the new collectors are actively searching for this older figures. So you never know. As long as it's not a Marvel figure, I would say, not somebody from Avengers. Because with those, there's always a new, turnover. You got a new Cap now. It's the hot new Captain America. Next year they come up with a new one. So until they stop making these movies, kind of like the Dark Knight, you would see a new Cap every 2 years or so. So with this guy, I don't know if we're gonna see another Optimus Prime. Probably not, because it didn't do so well. But it doesn't mean that it's gonna be hot. Kind of like Tonto or Perseus. So who knows? But I'll kind of show you how to insert his wings. So you can do it two ways. So like I said, you can use the tires on his back. You can also take this out if you want to. You have several options here. The wings are plastic, but they're a bit heavy. They're pretty solid, so nice weight on them. You kind of have to position them because he's gonna be heavy on the back, so you kind of have him lean a little bit forward, so you can kind of support that. But it's up to you. Me personally, I like Optimus Prime the way I remembered him to be without these wings. When I was younger, at least, that's how I get to know him. But this is something cool, something different. So you can see there, his wings are really well made too. You can see the internals, the mechanics in there. So just push it in. You don't need to be you don't need power tools or any screwdrivers or anything like that. And they are articulated as well. So as you can see there, you gotta position him, quite strategically, so he doesn't fall over on his back because they're a bit heavy, these wings. And he's a pretty light figure. Yeah, he's all plastic and hollow. So there you go. Just I was using my turntable there, so I gotta move him elsewhere. Kind of, he's leaning now towards his right, and there you go. It looks pretty neat. I like it. I like him with his wings as well. Kind of mixing things around if you are bored. And that is Starscream with his head as well. I'm pretty sure you can take out the Optimus Prime head and put the. I haven't really tried that. Maybe I should. And put the other neck peg inside and kind of get the wires hanging out. So I'm pretty sure that's another option as well. Alright, so right now I'm trying to go for the all-out look of this Optimus Prime. So we're gonna insert his something on his shoulders to mount the cannons that comes in his shoulders. So just push them in. They're a bit tight and a bit scary, to be quite honest with you, because I feel like I'm gonna scratch the paint, by doing this. So you kind of have to maneuver them a bit carefully. So you can see them on the picture, so you kind of push them in there. But maybe I need more space to do that because they got the shoulder pads has some kind of hook underneath, so it's a bit scary just pushing them in recklessly because you never know if you're gonna scratch the figure or not. There you go. We're gonna go for a different look this time. This is kind of like his Alright, so we're gonna put him in a few poses and then we're gonna wrap this thing up. So I kind of loaded him up. This is all loaded with his cannons on his arm. You can see here he's ready for battle, man. You can see those two big ass guns on his forearm, kind of shooting at you, and it's still Starscream head. Wings all deployed, ready for battle. So this is, like you have everything out of the box, outside of the gun. I didn't put it on his hand, but yeah, but for the most part, I have him right now, because you need a big space for this. The wings occupy a lot of space, and that's what's preventing me on putting him on a detail shelf with all this accessories, because, well, he's gonna be by himself, and I don't really want to dedicate a shelf for him. I mean, I like the guy. I think he's pretty popular pop culture. He's an icon, one of the staple of my childhood. But I got limited space, man. You can't be in one of my shelf. Here you go. So I just want to demonstrate to you as well. The wings actually do move around pretty easily. You don't have to take him off his back. So you can see there. Pretty nice. And I still have the Starscream head. I guess I fell in love with it. There you go. So they just move around like that. And pretty badass looking. Just stare at him. Just absorb it. And you have another option too when it comes to his cannons. You can put it on his forearm, or you can put him on his shoulder, which is a bit scary to be quite honest with you because they're a little tight. And I have the camera in front of me, so normally you would want to push it down, but it's a little scary in a sense that you might scratch off his shoulders because it's tight, you know. So you have that option. Then if you want to put the other one on his forearm, you could go ahead and do so. The forearm is a little bit less scarier, I would say, because it's a bit easier to snap in, you know. Unlike the shoulder, unless I'm doing it wrong, you know, I gotta refer to the manual again. But you know, I'm not gonna push it in all throughout because I don't have any plans on you know, damaging this. But you could, it's possible, and but it's just, you know, I'd rather do it not in front of the camera. Here he is now. Finally, I used the Optimus Prime head sculpt and kind of missed him now. This is fully decked out with his gun. There's a lot of things going on here. That's why I'm not a big fan of this look. But just to let you know, you know, it's possible to load him up. You could, if you want to, put one in this. Open up the chest too. You know, the only thing I didn't do is turn on the lights. You can't see it anyway. But yeah, it's a nice figure. You know, like I said, pretty big, you know, especially if you put all these things, and it kind of doesn't look like Optimus Prime to me when you put all of these things together with him now. And you know, maybe a bigger fan would appreciate this look more than I will. This is not gonna be my go-to look, I can tell you that. He's not gonna have the wings. He probably has the wheel on his back, so that will be fine. The gun is probably gonna be kept in a box alongside this forearm cannons that he does have. So I just want a simple Optimus Prime, and I know a lot of people has some beef with it not transforming, but I didn't buy a toy. I bought an action figure, or a robot for this matter, that I would just display. I don't want to display a truck. I'm not gonna play with it. You know, some people might want to have that option, but it's fine with me, as long as it's aesthetically nice to look at on my display piece. I'm fine with it, and this is how he pretty much is gonna look like on my shelf. Maybe minus the gun, maybe I'll have him hold the gun, but to me this is Optimus Prime. You can have him hold the Starscream head, which is, you know, it's okay. It's a nice look. Kind of looks badass to me, and I like the base. You know, the base kind of gives him more of a statue look. Because in a robot, that's why a lot of people is drawn into Iron Man. You see joints, but it's not as, you know, as bothering as, let's say, if you have a guy who has like an exposed arms and you can see the joints clearly. So there you go. This is all what you're gonna get for this figure. It is pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie to you. Is it expensive? Yes. I think it should have been more cheaper, but maybe Hot Toys was anticipating a larger audience for this. And it turned out not to be the case, because it's still widely available in every market, and sometimes it goes on discount a lot. But if you want to get this figure, like I said, please get it on Big Bad Toy Store. I'm gonna put the link down below, and it's pretty cool figure to be on your shelf. Pretty iconic, if you ask me. Is it worth the price? Yeah, it's debatable. No, I would say no. They should have been $250. But then again, I think most of Hot Toys are overpriced anyway. But this guy right here, if you can get it used, maybe $250. That's what I would recommend. You know, pretty fair if you ask me.